So as I've been getting closer to Christ, as I've been trying to get closer and trying to live in Christ, live like Christ, I've noticed something. It is very different than what the world wants us to focus on. So I don't know about you guys, but if you have been growing closer to Christ, maybe you've been noticing that you start to feel a little bit more peaceful. You start to feel a little bit happier. And this is something that you realize once you start to get closer. The more that you get closer, even in the Bible, it says that he who trusts in Christ will have happiness. He will be happy. Like even something small like that. Like if we could trust in Christ, we could be happy. But a lot of people might think that it's different. It's like something that might be looked at as, what is wrong with you? We got things to focus on. We got things to worry about here, there, and everywhere. How are you going to just sit here and try to focus on getting closer to Christ? And even for ourselves, sometimes that might be hard to understand. Because it's like, well, I got to make sure that everything's right. I got to make sure that I got my plan right. I got to make sure that I get good grades. I got to, whatever it might be. But once we start to get closer to Christ, that might be something that is actually the most important thing to focus on. But it's just so different in this day and age that not many people are going to ask us to be able to do that, are going to encourage us to be able to do that. So me and my brother watched this. My brother showed me this. It's like this web series thing. It's called 1776. And this is basically just a concept. It's a concept where it's this story being told from these people who live in a place where they no longer die. They do not die anymore. It's very interesting. They don't die anymore, and all of a sudden they don't like have births or anything like that. It's just this place where they're living in complete abundance. They don't gotta work no more. They don't die no more. You ain't got nothing to worry about. And they have to decide like, okay, what are we going to do now? And in here, one of the concepts that it brings up is capitalism. Let's talk about this, but like it brings up the fact that I saw somebody talking about it, that in this day with this, what they're talking about in here, a lot of people don't have to worry about being able to make money, being able to get a job, anything like that. And in the story, they talked about how it was so different than how we live now. This story happens in like 1776. That's a long time from now. But they were like, it's so different from what we have now, because right now, a lot of people's identity is in jobs. It's in having a job, having a career and a degree. And our identities are in that. But in this new age that they're in this story, they don't got to worry about that. So they had to ask themselves, like, what's going to make me happy in this time? What am I going to do? And a lot of them turn to play. They start playing. One of the things that they do is they play freaking football. They enjoy football, and it's just like having fun with football and stuff like that. But it's about finding that happiness too. There's a girl in here who she goes around and just asking people about stories. Like, what's the story here? And that's the most interesting thing to her. And I was talking to my brother about it, and I was like, for myself, like making these videos, it's almost like there's so many things that I could do, and I have so much fun doing it. I would be doing it even if I lived in this place, this imaginary place where, you know, we don't have to make money. We don't have to do anything. It's just the fun, and it's the play, and it's the enjoying it. You know, maybe I had to pick up a part-time job. That's right now. That's okay. But this is the play. And it's something that brings this joy and happiness out of me. But not only that, it's something that brings me closer to Christ. And bringing me closer to Christ is something that gets that joy, the fruits of the Spirit, the love, joy, hope, and peace. That is something that not a lot of people are going to focus on. Because something else that I brought up is that right now, a lot of people are thinking that joy, happiness, peace comes as a reward from working your entire life. What is that? You were going to work our entire life, then we're going to be happy. Like, this is it locked behind a paywall or something? It don't make no sense, man. I don't think it's something that a lot of people think about. I hope that you guys are thinking about this, man, because some of the people I talk to, it's just like, it's so ingrained in us right now. But I think this was such a different way of thinking about it. It's like a speculation story, but we're just like thinking about it, man. It makes you think. It makes you think about, what would you do in this environment? As a Christian, you know, if we didn't have eternity, if we didn't have heaven, like we were never going to die, what would we do? And for me personally, I would try to live by the fruits of the Spirit, live a happy life through Christ, being like Christ. It talks about that in the Bible. That's the fruits of the Spirit, not living for our flesh. So if we would do that then, why don't we think about doing that now? Why don't we think about trying to get the peace of God, trying to trust Him more, trying to be able to live in His hope, joy, and peace, man, trying to love people as much as we can. If we could live through that love, it starts to foster connections with people every single day. If I was living in this place, I would want to be connected with the people in my life, just like I'm trying to do now, and be better at that right now. So I think this is super freaking interesting. It is something that just got me thinking. It is something that was like, oh my gosh, this is such an interesting way of thinking about it. But right now, do y'all think that y'all would still be doing what you're currently doing, even if you didn't need money? Even if you didn't need money and anything like that? Like, do you enjoy it that much? Do you have a good time doing that thing? And even if you never died, what would you be doing right now? Let me know down in the comments below, man. I hope that this like opens something up. I just want to think about this together, man. It got me thinking. I hope it gets you thinking, guys. I love y'all. I hope you have an amazing day, week. Peace.